Apparently we are getting the Demon Slayer collab. It just got announced on a Monday of all days, immediately in the middle of one of the strongest god fests we've gotten in a hot minute. Right after Fujimi, they gave us 109 stones plus 25 for the beginning of the week, and then they're just like, yep, and you're getting Demon Slayer. Hope you didn't spend all your stones. This is probably the most trollsy announcement I've ever seen. So it's just an announcement. It's not dates. So it could be a week or two, maybe longer, but we're getting it. Why we didn't get it in the same time as the movie, who knows? Seems like that would have been a lot better way to do it because you could advertise Puzzle and Dragon. But we're finally getting it, and so people can be happy, right? This is happiness for all the people who said Demon Slayer, Demon Slayer, Demon Slayer. Everyone's happy, right? Let me make sure everyone in the chat, you could say hi. We're happy. So, all right, let's talk about Demon Slayer. Is it still relevant? What cards are actually good here? I have almost removed these cards from my mind at this point because I was pretty convinced we weren't getting it. It's so late. It's so old. But let's talk about these cards now. They're probably going to be pretty fun. Now, I played Tanjiro on a Japan server, and while he is really strong, I didn't like him. I thought he was kind of boring. You just link 4 red orbs and things happen. And so his playstyle is just very generic. He's like the most generic transform leader you could think of. Very powerful, and he's a great sub. So I would be more excited to get him as a sub than as a potential leader. Scroll. Okay, so let's talk about Tanjiro. This guy is really powerful. Let's not get it wrong. He's an 18-turn transform leader that turns into this devil-killing powerhouse, kind of on the same level as Gorega Breve. Good stats. And on a 2-turn cooldown, he has like a Norza-like active. Except it's not as good as Norza in some ways. In some ways, it's better, you know? For 1 turn, extra RCV. For 1 turn, extra attack for attacker types, and you create 4 fire orbs over non-water and heal orbs. Now, it doesn't make hearts, so that's one of his weaknesses. But you can consistently make red orbs and consistently get 50% more damage. And if anyone's been playing around with Dina, who only gives us 1.2, when she gets buffed, I think she gets buffed to 1.5. That damage amp, if you have that every turn, it's really strong. These mini buffs, RCV mini buffs, attack mini buffs, are very powerful because you can have them every turn. You overwrite debuffs, and 50% more damage on a high multiplier leader is quite strong. Now, Tanjiro is not a high multiplier leader. He's above average, or at average. He's 18x. He does have 2 HP on RCV. He does have a 25% shield. But honestly, these are low multipliers now. 18x is low. We're kind of looking for a standard like 20x. And 25% shield on a 2x HP is low. We're looking for like a 2x HP, 35% shield. Right? But I do like that it's attacker type and water type. He's got a very wide sub pool, right? Very, very wide sub pool. You're not even necessarily restricted to red like you are with Sena. Even though you do have to link red orbs, and he does make red orbs, so you're going to want to usually be red, but you're not restricted to just red types, right? You could bring other things to the dungeon. But I think his leader skill is already kind of dated. Very easy to work with. You get a bunch of plus combos for just making 4 orbs, but I don't think he's used much as a leader anymore. He's more of a sub now in Japan. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I think he's already done for as a leader. His assist equip is strong. Skill boost assist equips are always good. Skill boost plus SBR, still good. And basically, in some ways, this is a better Riku assist equip if you don't mind it not having as long of a cooldown. And it covers a lot of bases. You get extra move time, extra RCV, extra combo, extra attack. It does a lot of things all at once on a reasonable 15-turn cooldown. So you wouldn't really be upset if this came up. Demon Slayer buffs when? Yeah, we're already asking for Demon Slayer buffs. Because this is one of those feels bad where we get the collab super late. Anyway, still a great assist equip. So even if you get Tanjiro and you're like, oh, boring leader, his multipliers aren't high enough to really handle Shura 2, he's still amazing sub and amazing assist equip. So good roll. Muzan, super fun card. One of the ones I'm looking forward to. He's one of those high risk, high reward cards. So his base is just a really high shield, unconditional shield as long as you're above 50%. And really weird card. I don't think this is... Do people use this form very often? Probably. Pretty much an unconditional 20x multiplier. Amazing for farming, right? And he makes the top and second row. The top row and the second row for the top dark orbs. So it makes a lot of dark orbs. You make some, you unmatch them, you do your one row or something and move on. And these greater than 80%, a lot of people don't like these, but again, these are great for farming. And this guy's active automatically gives you those combo orbs. So at least he synergizes with himself really well. Muzan is a popular ranking lead? Yes, I imagine so. 4 skill boosts, possibility for a VDP, combo orbs. Yeah, this seems like a great card for ranking, for sure. All right, Muzan has a Yuvo, 777C. We've got a skill haste, a rainbow skill haste. We still have the 4 skill boost option for a VDP if you want a VDP. Damage amp for devil types, and he makes a rainbow board with an unlock. So 14 turns. This is a standard rainbow kind of active, and it's a little long cooldown. But you know, I love seeing this clause on leaders. I love no Skyfall leaders. I think they're a lot of fun. 2x all stats of devil and dark. Again, that really like flexible leader skill is quite fun. But again, 18x attack, 25% shield. So again, this shield and this HP, this bulk lags behind what we're seeing. Like even with the specters, the Shikigami stuff. Yeah, and as Ilm's pointing out, 18x for Rainbow is quite weak. So you'll have this is a fun card, but you're not going to clear like endgame content with this level of Rainbow Leader. You're really looking for like a 22x, 25x Rainbow Leader to clear content, and you're not going to get that with Muzan. But I want him. I want him for the farming. I want him for... I like Rainbow Leaders like this. And being able to flex those Devil type cards in Rainbow is fun. This assist equip is really good for farming. Like if you, as long as you're not doing suicide farming, right? I'm not even really looking at the active skill. The active skill is weird, but fine. But 4 Dark Rows and a greater than 80%, this is an amazing farming tool. And who doesn't want to put a Michael Jackson coat on their monsters? You could just assist equip a Michael Jackson coat directly to them. All right, Rengoku, aka the pair for Lena's Yuvo. I guess maybe we get a hint that we're going to get Rengoku, because what else are we going to use Lena with, right? So we get Rengoku, huge devil killer. Makes sense, right? These guys are demon slayers. Creates 9 fire orbs for 2 turns, increase combo count by 2. For 2 turns, increase fire attack. Very similar to Lena's active in some ways, right? 2 HP for fire. Reduce damage by 25% with 6 or more combos. So 20x lead when matching 4 or more connected fire orbs. Up to 25x at 9. So if you remember, this sounds a little familiar because Lena needs at least 4 fire orbs to proc. So this guy can go up to 25x at 9 orbs. So when you activate that VDP, you really pop off. Now, I think the biggest problem if you're pairing Lena with this form is combo count, right? Yeah, so this guy pairs really well with a lot of stuff. And just a fun card overall. You could play that like combo orb style with this guy. So you do your big L to proc your combo orbs and get some plus combos. Save your combo orbs when you need to do the big VDP and still hit that high combo count. I really like that playstyle. It's a little stall heavy, but Gillian is powerful, and he's going to get more powerful when he gets his buffs. All right, his Evo is less good in some ways because it doesn't have VDP. And what's the point of having Devil Killers and not having VDP against Giles? So you either have to bring some kind of VDP bypass or something. Now, he does reduce Unmatchable, and he does reduce Awoken Skill Binds and creates Fire Orbs. So he's an excellent Cleric card. But his leader skill seems really mediocre here, right? 225. 2.25 with a 75% shield isn't bad. And he gives you +3 combo. So this is a usable leader skill. But isn't Araragi's multiplier much higher? That's what I'd like to point out. That this is only a 15x multiplier. Well, this is a fine leader skill. It'll clear most content. And if you have the right killer setups and damage amps and stuff, you'll even clear Shura 2's bulkier spawns. But you're going to have the right killer setups. You're going to have the damage amps. You're going to have the Rose, the Takayakis, and the OEs. I mean, you don't really need a huge leader skill if you're hitting damage cap. And if you're doing monocolor with bunches of awakenings, then you're going to hit damage cap. And this is a row style lead, right? Matching 6 or more connected fire orbs. So maybe you could stack fire rows. So very viable fire row leader, right? 2.25 HP and 75% shield for fire rows. Not bad. This guy seems fun. I would have fun playing him. And he's definitely be the best cleric for any fire row team. 7-turn cooldown for 5 turns off of Unmatchable and Bind and Awoken Bind. Seems good. I'm actually excited for Rengoku, kinda. Again, this guy isn't going to push the meta in any real way unless you don't have Christmas Gremory, right? If you don't have Christmas Gremory, you might be excited to get this guy. But I think Christmas Gremory is probably better because she has more skill boosts. She makes hearts. All right, Rengoku's assist equip seems to me pretty nuts, right? Is this assist equip good? This seems good. It's a skill boost. It's a greater than 80. It's 2 red OEs. And then you get attack plus 30% for each VDP on your team. And you get 9 fire orbs. This is pretty loaded damage assist equip. I know who she is, I believe. When we get to her, I'll point her out. All right. Nezuko Kamado. I don't know if she's still one of the best clerics in the game, but when she came out, she was like the definition of cleric. Like, you would put her on teams where she didn't even match just because she was such a powerful cleric. And that's because she brings 5 effective skill boosts before she even, as her change. So she transforms on a 16-turn cooldown, and she might even get more powerful again. As we're starting to see these like transform leaders that actually need to transform twice. So rehaste is going to be super valuable. So you put enough skill boost to transform a leader, you transform once, and then you activate some rehaste, and you're quickly transforming them again. So Nezuko, possibly really strong. She brings the cloud resist. She brings an L unlock. She brings meaningful damage for a cleric. And she probably still has the lowest cooldown cleric active, right? 4 turns to get rid of 7 turns Unmatchable and Bind and Awoken Bind. This is crazy. And she just, as a bonus, gives you a 20% heal. This active skill is crazy good. I think you're happy if you roll this card. And look at the stats. Look at the stats. These stats are good, right? This is a cleric card with a 4,000 attack. 2 7Cs and 2 VDPs. She's going to hit like a truck. She's going to hit so hard. This is a good card. This is probably still good. I don't think this card will age ever. The problem is that you can't trade for her, right? You can only trade for Tanjiro, I think. You just got to roll her. Good old only can trade for the top rarity tricks. So Good luck rolling her. I'm gonna roll for her. I really like her. I think she's an adorable character, so she's definitely a great box cheerleader, if anything. And then, yeah, well, emotes, let's go. This is the card I'm rolling for because I think this card will have the longest longevity of all of the cards. I don't see how this card can be dated at all. Unless just red and dark aren't useful at the moment. Leader skill, I mean, you could already see nothing usable here as far as leader skill goes. At 182, she's a pitiful attack. She's definitely a sub. And then if you happen to get 2 of them, you've got a decent assist equip. Ribbon, 3 OEs. OEs are always good. And it's a 2-turn 50% shield. It reduces all binds. So this is a single turn. This is a single card solution for the Ogre Floor and Shura 2, right? Now it's a little bit awkward on Giles, Gillies, Legato, but just like the Indra assist equip, this is a 1-card solution for the Ogre Floor, which a lot of people really struggle with dealing with the Ogre Floor and still having enough actives and things to deal with the later floors. Oh, do people leader swap for who? The fact that leader skills survivability is nice for leader swapping, though? Okay, I'm not sure what that means, unless I am missing something. All right, Zenitsu. Okay, he is also a transform. I like seeing transforms with delays. 16 turns, so he's got 2 turns, so he's an effective 4-turn. But what's nice is that he is a 16-turn transform. That means this guy actually synergizes quite well with 18-turn transform cards, right? Because you have 16 skill boosts, you activate him, and he gives you the 2-turn delay to let you get your 18-turn cards. You dislike this man in the anime? Yeah, he's a stand user, right? He breathes the Hamon. I always just made JoJo references the entire time I was watching this, whenever he did his breathing technique. I like this character. He's fun. This guy is the Tpa King, by the way, and he has great art. This is one of the best art cards in the collab, in my opinion. Fantastic art. And, man, look at all these TPAs. People underestimate TPAs until you have a lot of them, right? Once you have a lot of TPAs and a 6,500 attack, this guy hits hard. And he has a 2-turn cooldown, 2x attack. So if you're running this guy, 2 of these guys, you have double attack. So now, if you're actually running 2 of these guys, you kind of have a 512 multiplier. Kind of, right? You don't really have one because if you use a higher attack buff, but this guy's pretty strong. 11x, yeah, personal attack is okay, but he brings in a consistent 2x attack buff. And you throw a Zenogre equip onto this guy and give him 2 more TPAs, and he's really popping off. This guy hits really hard. And am I missing something? The card here has 7,096 attack, where the stats here have 6,496. I don't know which one to believe. I guess I believe the 7,096, and this is a typo on the website. 7,096 is a lot of attack. Oh, the voice stat buff. Oh, yeah, we can't forget that, man. Yeah, these voice stat buffs are very noticeable, right? It's a 500 or 600 attack increase. Okay, leader skill. 4x HP with a 57.75% shield. And we already talked about that his attack is a little low, but you kind of gets compensated. Now, his biggest problem is that he doesn't have a lot of RCV. But he is for light attribute, and there are some really good healers in the light pool. So I don't think it would be too hard to find healers that you can effectively use with this team. And he's got a very easy to activate leader skill, right? TPA lights, bam, you're doing massive, massive damage. I like this guy. This guy's going to be a really easy to use leader. And I think he's probably endgame viable. Like, his damage is a little low, but that active is very strong. Oh, speak of the devil, the Zenogre assist equip, his own assist equip is a double TPA. I didn't even know that. 100% damage void, 4x move time, 4x light. Sure. This is a fine assist equip. This is what I would put on him for sure. So unfortunately, if his best assist equip is himself, again, more whale, more rolls. You want to get 2 of them so you can have the best version of him. All right, Enosuke. Probably the second card that's going to last the longest, and that's because of his very loaded active on his assist equip. He comes rocking up to 5 skill boosts, and he bypasses damage absorb shield and attribute absorb shield on a very low cooldown. So he can provide you that 1-turn Fujin on a 13-turn cooldown. This is similar to like Greed, right? Ramamoa? Except it also has a little bit more effects here. You get the +2 seconds. High attack stat and plus combo for only matching a TPA of Woods. I mean, of course you're going to hit 10x combo easy. No problem. So, yeah. Very easy to use leader skill. The problem is no shield, no RCV. So, he's all bulk. You probably won't see this base used very much. Yuvo. Every time I see team HPs on a card, I get excited. I'm hoping this card is usable in teams. Triple VDP, meaning he deals meaningful damage. Got a double 7C in the Super Awakenings, meaning you could double that damage. Change the far left column, the far right column to wood orbs. 10 orbs generated, so you get a guaranteed VDP and a shield. So this is a 60% or 30% uptime shield. It's not bad. 4 HP, 256 attack, 43. So again, no RCV and much less attack on this card. So I feel like it's usable. It has a shield, it has HP, so you got bulk. I mean, you get the auto Fua. It seems to pair pretty well with his base form, but I think you'd be disappointed about the performance of this guy as a leader. Definitely a good sub, though. So this guy's a strong sub. He provides team HPs, provides jam resist. So great card. Now, this is where he really shines, and this is what is going to make this card huge as far as longevity goes, where you'll be really happy that you roll this card. 2 team HPs, 2 personal HPs, a skill boost, 2 turns bypass damage absorb shield, and so 2-turn Fujin and a 2-turn attack buff. This card is super loaded. This card is super loaded. It's used on almost every team because almost every good team is stacking attacker types anyway. This card is crazy. Skill boost, 2 team HPs, and 2 personal HPs. This is like super bulk. I don't know Deaths is in the channel, but man, Deaths would be like, this is what you need if you want the really huge bulk Dark Ideal with the Vulcan and Dalton combo. So yeah, this is amazing. This is possibly, especially if you're green, because it does have 7,300 HP on it. This is probably way more than triple team HP, right? And it's good. Like, this is an active you want to come up, right? So this is possibly your end game Fujin with a damage amp. I don't know if you're doing Altarina 4. This totally dumpsters Altarina 4. It also dumpsters Manoa. So great. This assist equip's great. This is like the SSS tier card just for the assist equip. All right, Giyu. Now, Giyu, I was just working on a team earlier today using Naga, and Giyu is a very similar card to Naga as far as leader skills go. So I'm actually kind of excited to get Giyu. I think he's a little better. But there's definitely some Shurato clearable teams using Giyu, despite blue having a disadvantage. We now have Hoppo, and Hoppo is really good at taking care of that primary disadvantage, which is the Dragon Seed on the second floor. So Giyu rocks 4 skill boosts. Again, Demon Slayer. We're doing a lot of devil killing. Changes the far left and far right columns to water orbs, locks water orbs, reduce the Woken skill bind by 5 turns. Pretty good active considering that it's on an 8-turn cooldown. Does a good bit of things. I could say maybe this is good for Giles Legato to give you blue orbs and you just ignore the fact that you can't match light orbs. Or if you're doing other content that just gives you hits you with an awoken bind, this is a pretty good active. Gives you stuff you need to kill. Low attack. So, but a lot of bulk, a lot of RCV, and a decent shield. But again, these multipliers are a little on the low end of what we're starting to see. We're starting to see like 2.2s and 2.5s instead of just 2s. And we're starting to see consistent 50% shields on just 1 leader. Much more than 25% shield on 1 leader. He does have an Autofua when matching 4 orbs, and this Autofua is significantly more than Naga, which is why you saw this used in Shura 2, because you can actually ping down the Dragon Seedling with this Autofua. Alright, Yuvo goes, he's balanced both, that's to note. You can use any killers on him. Yuva, there we go. We've got 4 skill boosts, 777C, VDP, blind resist. You could super awaken that devil killer onto him. Random 1 orb changes every 1 turn, so spinners. And for 1 turn, reduce damage by 100%. This active is really questionable. It does 2 really weird things together, and it's got a really long cooldown. I don't think this guy would ever be used. Honestly, I think this is... Does this get used? I can't imagine a really good use for him. Like, his awakenings are fine, and he brings blind resist. But unless you're doing very specific content where you want to have 100% void shield, then I don't really see how useful his active will ever be. All right. Assist equip. Assist equip is fantastic. 4 blue OEs. You've got poison and jammer, which you could pair up with your samurai 3 assist equips. Some additional HP. Bulk is always good. And you've got this really strong cleric ability. Completely gets rid of unmatchable. Completely gets rid of binds. And gives you a bunch of water orbs. This is like a primo water team. In fact, I would probably just evo him to this and use him on the Naga team rather than using him himself, because if I'm not like, Fujimi came out after Demon Slayer, so Naga is noticeably stronger in some ways than him. Really, the biggest difference between the two is he's got that 500,000 Autofua where Naga only hits for 1, and that, like I said, makes a difference on the Dragon Seed floor. But you could always just bring Hoppo, and he gets rid of defense for 3 turns. All right, now, is this the orb skin bundle? Or is it the sister? The other girl? No, this is not the orb skin bundle yet. Alright, Shinobu. Again, Demon Slayers. Lots of devil killers. That's definitely a theme. 6 turns to create dark orbs. Poisons all enemies. Poisons are kind of useless. And this active on a 6-turn cooldown. Yikes. Not great. She does have a decent leader skill. 4, 324, 4. Combo based, and she has plus combo, and she has Autofua when matching. Okay, so you get the plus combo and the Autofua when you really need it, when you're doing your kill board, right? So quite good. Just a little on the low side, just like all these cards. All these cards are a little on the low side for these multipliers, and that's because these cards are old now. And yeah, VDPs. So you have Evoer. She switches those VDPs over to 7Cs, and you can get the VDP Super Awakening, so still viable. And I'd like to note that she has the Poison Skyfall Awakening. I guess maybe you use that here. There you go. You're immune to poison effects, and I still don't understand why you would do this to yourself. Why you would give yourself poison orbs. Am I missing something? Anyway, there we go. Change all orbs to light, dark, heal, and poison. There you go. It's her active. Now, this is a good active, right? This is actually a pretty good active, but I mean, Bakura came and went, and everyone was like, oh, Bakura, you need to get 3 of them and run the Bakura system. It's going to destroy. And yeah, it completely wrecked AA4, but I mean, people were wrecking AA4 pretty much right off the bat with Norza team as well. So this is a fine active skill, and it's on a 4-turn cooldown. So I like this active skill a lot, especially if you're using a leader that doesn't care about poison orbs anyway. 2.25 HP with 75% shield is pretty bulky, but held back by that low attack multiplier. So we're talking about a 15x attack multiplier. You're going to have a hard time killing some floors unless you're like really packing some heat on your subs. And when you're trying to hit like damage cap on 3 or 4 cards a couple times within 5-6 turns, it can hurt. All right, so we do get another quad poison option past the green GFE ninja and the Dade Masamune samurai equip. It does have a delay, but it also has that poison on it. So, I mean, it's meh. There are some applications for poison, but I don't even think this is a very high poison. I think you want like a 200x attack for poison. Or you want a really low poison, come in under some hits or something. But, I mean, it's fine. Quadruple poison's always useful. Alright, Akaza. Already problematic when you see a bunch of little fingers. But I guess he does transform. So this is transform. Alright. For 5 turns, 2x attack. Devil type. Sure. We can ignore this leader skill, I think. It does have a 75% shield. So that is significant if you're using him as a leader. He can survive long enough that you can get this 30 turn cooldown. So. He doesn't provide any skill boost in his kit pre-transform. But he is a usable sub pre-transform. Because he is 777C with a decent attack stat. So, and his leader skill, serviceable. I mean, 12x. It can maybe hold you over until you get transformed. Fine. It even has auto Fua. Now, when he does transform, though, wow. Quintuple 7C built in. So that means even on two-player stuff, co-op, you have a quintuple 7C devil attacker. 2-turn cooldown gives you a rainbow board. This is pretty fun. Yeah, this is a pretty fun active. Is this guy usable? I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with him if I get him. But guaranteed rainbow board every 2 turns seems interesting. Very interesting. And I like cards that are fun. So I'm interested in this card. Again, pretty bulky. A little bit of a better attack stat. And a lot of RCV. So he's got an auto Fua. Sure. This card seems fun. I would consider using this as a leader, especially in co-op, where 30 turns is nothing in co-op. This is a great leader. And maybe even a pair. Couldn't you pair these guys and you have a rainbow every turn? Is this an Amen pair? I guess. 6 or more combos. You pop off with a 50% shield. Sure. Also gives you the auto Fua, so you don't have to worry about follow-up attack. Assist equip. 2 team HPs. Physical killer. 2 red OEs. Sure. Loaded. Lots of good awakenings there. Unlocks orbs. Changes all. So it gives you a rainbow board. And for 4 turns, reduces damage taken by 50%. Wow. This is actually quite the card. Like, as far as actives go, a 4-turn 50% shield is pretty strong. And this is on a 13-turn cooldown. It's not even a long cooldown. Could he pair with Amlinea? Could he pair with Amlinea? No. Devil type. He is attacker, so you could put him on an Amlinea team, but you're already running spinners anyway. Do you really need to create orbs? All right. Kano Sayuri. I think, is this the orb skin? I think this is the one you could purchase because she was in the middle. All right. 4 skill boost, 777C, follow-up attack, can get a VDP, can get a guard break. Those are both nice to see as super awakenings. 2-turn delay, so she has 6 effective turns. And she gives you a heal column, not bad. Already problematic leader skill. She's packing a 16.5. But pretty easy to activate. Just match dark and heal. Assist equip seems fine. I like these heart row awakenings. I think they're interesting. They can ease up team building, especially for Shura 2. Activate a random skill from the list. So you either get 3 turns of RCV or 3 turns of move time. Okay, I mean, whatever. You're mainly using it for the 3-turn delay. So this is possibly a good delay skill. It does give bind resist. So bind resist plus delay, it's not bad. Does she have a shield? Yes. 50% shield by herself for matching dark and heal. Alright, now we're down to the 6-star rarity cards. Some of these I don't even remember seeing anywhere. So these are going to be probably a lot of consolation prizes. Maybe niche uses. Immediately when you were like 2 team HPs, 2 heart row awakenings. An active that is questionable on how useful it is. And bad leader skill, so we can move on. Assist equip's okay. 3 heart rows. Every time you see a team HP and an HP, maybe this is usable for certain teams. Sure. Tamiyo. Okay, I say I like these heart row awakenings, but this is ridiculous. You don't need this many. What is this? You don't... What kind of binds are you clearing with a heart row here? Reduce HP by 20%. Change top row to heal. Lock all heal orbs. Okay. I mean, they put a negative on it, I guess, to lower the cooldown a little bit. Bad leader skill. Move on. Alright, the little ghost children. Subido and Makamo. 4 blue OEs. Some stuff. The stats, you could tell, are much lower on these cards. Change far left column to water. Far right to heal. Charge all his skills. I like this active. This is a good active. So I like this active because it has rehaste. It gives you a really quick 5 blues. Fua column. Swipe. You move on. Great for farming. This is a great farming card. And considering that he's got 4 blue OEs on top of that, this is a good farming card. Really easy setup for a blue L too. So yeah, this is a fine card. I wouldn't be happy, or I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be upset getting maybe 1 or 2 of these guys as I'm rolling. All right, Sakanji. You know, Tengu Mask. That's what I remember him as. Tengu Mask. 2 SBs, 2 fingers. Now, I think this is why we're going to want him. He's just a 10-turn laser. That's it. That's what he does. He lasers. And he can deal damage after he's done lasering. This is fine for farming. I imagine you could see this in ranking tournaments because anytime you see an L, maybe he could be used for L spam where you need to do laser on one of the floors. Sure. I want at least one of these guys in my box. This is a 500k laser. Yes, it's a lower laser, but sometimes that's good, right? You don't want every laser you get to be 5 million. Because sometimes there's a VDP shield that's a 1 million VDP shield. That 500k laser is perfect. You want a diverse set of lasers in your box, right? And if you're doing like ticket farming or something, a lot of times 500k is plenty, and it does it to all enemies. So it's going to kill the whole floor. So, especially if you're doing your pad pass stuff. Boink! You just kill all 4 or 5 of them on your pad pass. Alright. Hagen. 4 SBs. Very low cooldown. For 1 turn, 1.2 2 attack for physical type, create 3 fire and wood orbs. Sure, I actually like this. I mean, he's not that great himself. Stats are but he does bring a ribbon. He does bring an L unlock. He can bring a guard break or 4 skill boosts. And a really low cooldown damage amp thing. So this is like a Gregory card. Gregory's not getting a buff, is he? I didn't see anyone say about Gregory when Sacred Dragon Relic came around. This is a Gregory card for sure, right? All right. Enmu, I think I rolled like 10 of these guys on my Japanese account that I made when Demon Slayer came out. I mean, anytime I like the sub attribute cards, they're interesting because you could put the Fujin Laden on them, and if you lead as them. But does this guy have a good leader skill? Questionable leader skill. He could still be used for that. You put him as your last sub, and if your helper leader doesn't have a sub attribute, works the same way, right? And he does have up to 777C with killers, so that, and he's balanced. So this guy's definitely a viable card to put that like Fujin Laden on, or to be like a killer that you have in the last place, right? So if you know a dungeon you're doing has attribute absorb of like red, blue, green, or light, you put him in the last sub slot, and he comes in and he gets the kill because he's got all these killers. This card's quite good. It even has a respectable amount of attack for being one of the low rarity cards. He doesn't have the combo Orb Awakening, but I'm pretty sure if you assist equip a combo Orb Awakening, you could still apply the Latent. I'm pretty sure you can. Now, it doesn't work if you remove the assist equip, but you can apply the Latent and use it with an assist equip. All right, 2-turn delay, 2-turn bypass damage absorb shields. So he's a Fujin and a delay. Sure, this card's good. I guess I'm not as upset on my Japanese account if I ever go and play it. I like this card. This is a good card. This is not one I would be upset about getting. This is a solid card. It's diverse. It does lots of interesting things. I can see using this for like certain setups. So yeah, this is good. It's damage absorb shield effects. Yep, and he's balanced, so he could take any killer type. So very, very stacked as far as dealing damage. No VDP, so that does limit the amount of things he could be used on, but still good. Free from login, bad Tanjiro. So everyone gets a bad Tanjiro, hopefully. So not to be confused with good Tanjiro. This is bad Tanjiro. Now, he's not awful. He's not terrible because you can use it to choose what Super Awakening you want to bring different kinds of resists to a dungeon, right? And this is a great card for like new players, right? You just get this card. The stats are garbage. He's got terrible stats, but he comes with some awakenings that could be useful for new players. And he comes with an active that's useful for new players, right? A lot of times you go and you're trying to help some new player, you're like, do you have a way to remove binds? And they go, nope, I don't. But everyone gets this card as long as you log in during the event. And he's got a respectable leader skill too. He's kind of on the level of like the new Karen and new Haku. 1.5 all stats, 15x multiplier, and you just combo. Sure, this is a fantastic free card. Like, you just get this free, you don't even need to farm it. You just log in and you get it. But yeah, don't be confused when you log in and you get this card. You're like, oh, I got Tanjiro. This is not the good Tanjiro. This is the decent if you're new and you want a card that does things. But this is amazing. Yeah, you're going to see this card used in 3-player for sure. Be ready for it. But at least it's a decent leader skill, right? It doesn't have a shield, so but at least it's not a bad leader skill. But yeah, I'm sure you're going to see bad Tanjiro paired with good Tanjiro. But great free card overall. Monster Exchange, double SBR. If you guys don't have a double SBR equipped in your box already, go and pick one up. Because you'd be surprised at how good of a team you could build. And then you're like, oh, I want to use this team. And then you're like, oh, I don't have the SBR. And I just get skill bound and die. Because, like, remember, cards like Chris, once you transform Chris, he does not have SBR. And so if you're running Valeria for skill boosts, she doesn't have SBR. So you're already using 2 cards that don't have SBR. So cards like this can really help you overcome those issues. And it does have triple jammer resist. The active is useful, gives you a 75% shield, and gives you a rainbow board. Fine. This is a good card. And it actually even works for a Mikage team. Make sure you farm the tokens to go ahead and pick this card up. This is one of the better farmable assist equips, in my opinion. It's worth picking up. All right. Guess we're going to go through dungeon drops. Now, the stats on dungeon drops aren't usually going to be as good, but this actually has the voice awakening, so the stats actually come out okay. 7,000 HP, 3,000 attack, sure. 100,000 laser to an enemy 4 times. And it locks. This seems really usable. Like, very niche, but it locks orbs and does a 100,000 laser 4 times. So that means you could come in under these like really low void shields, or you can ping, 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 kill 4 things. So it basically says deal 100,000 damage to the whole floor, or 400,000 damage total. And you can slide in under some void shields. And it's got 3 skill boosts. Is this really a dungeon drop? Yeah, this is a pretty intense dungeon drop, I have to say. I mean, you could even maybe use this for content that needs an attacker killer, right? Because he has 3,000 attack. Not a bad card for a dungeon drop. All right, we got Orb Girl and Arrow Boy. Orb Girl and Arrow Boy. Again, not bad for a dungeon drop. Look at this. 3,600 attack with up to 4 TPAs, 2 7Cs, and an attacker killer. I'm kind of getting the flip here, right? All our cards that we're rolling were devil killers, and all the cards that you're getting from the dungeon drops are attacker killers. So that's a neat little theme we got going on. Again, for a dungeon drop, these are some pretty decent stats. For 3 turns, bypass attribute absorb shield for 3 turns, 1.5x for devil type. It's on a really high cooldown, 20 turns, but it is 3 turns. I mean, why not get one? Why not get one? This is an okay card for a farmable. Kyoagi, I really loved this episode. This was a really cool episode, being inside the house when he was playing the drums and stuff. Again, packing the attacker killers, got the 7C, got some skill boosts and stuff. For 1 turn, all orbs appear locked, replace all orbs. This is 100% unique, right? We don't have anything like this. Right? Oh, and Ilm's excited because it's a light devil. So we at least get a light devil. Yeah, and again, stats are okay because he's got that voice awakening. But for 1 turn, all orbs appear locked, replace all orbs. This seems unique. I wonder how you would use this, but I'm definitely going to pick one of these up and max skill it for sure. I might even max skill 2. Just because of this really weird active skill. All right. And then we're off to evolution materials and stuff. There was a Japan-only campaign for a retweet. I don't know if we will get any of this stuff. I guess we need to look at what Korea got when they got the run. But yeah, that's Demon Slayer. Let's look at the exchange. The exchange is very limited. You can only exchange for Tanjiro. You can only, or Muzan, or Rengoku. Now, if you notice that I said Tanjiro is good, Rengoku is good, Muzan is good, but who are the chase cards? The chase cards were Nezuko and Enosuke, right? And they're not here. You're going to have to wail for them. Dude, I hope you guys have your wallets ready, or because I know most people spent their stones on the Godfest. Because it is a good Godfest. It's got Christmas Tamaja and Christmas Grammary in it. But I don't have any stones left. I have like 18 stones. So, yeah, Gung Ho did a sturdy. They announced this on a Monday, guys. When do they announce collabs on Mondays? Anyway, that's the Demon Slayer collab. A lot of the cards are really dated as far as like leader skills go, but some of the actives are still very unique, and some of the assist equips are going to be really helpful for team building. And it did really hurt not having these cards. Nezuko, amazing sub still. 4-turn cooldown for 7-turn cleric. Awesome. Enosuke, that assist equip with all the HP and loaded active, amazing card. So there's still cards to chase here. Just don't expect to land a leader that's going to really push you through endgame content any easier than you were already doing just from Monster Hunter, Monogatari, and Mystics Inspectors, right? Seina is still going to be king. Naruto is still going to be queen. So that's the relationship there. Anyway, okay, that's Demon Slayer. Yep, Monster Hunter was busted because it was in the future, where Demon Slayer is in the past. Old hat. Okay. But yeah, Seina is a girl, but she's king because she's still way better than Naruto. Way better. Like, they don't even compare still. It's just Shiratu's Orb Troll is obnoxious. I mean, Seina is just such a stupidly strong card. Naruto is not nowhere close to Seina. You don't need 3 Nauticos. You could get away with 1 Nautico. But as soon as you have 2 Seinas, you're popping off. Like, and the Seina's so strong, you don't even need Seina. You could just run Suo or Freyr, and you're still, like, popping off. Like, very, very strong. Seina's way better than Nautico. Way better. She makes orbs. She just makes orbs. Nautico needs reds to be on board. Where Seina makes orbs. That's always better. The most infuriating thing about playing Nautico is not landing a combination of 12 green and red orbs and just being like, well, I hope I get it next turn. Well, I hope I get it next turn. Well, I hope I get it next turn. Oh, well, 5 turns later and Shirius blows your home up because you couldn't get 12 greens and reds on a single board. Yeah, Monogatari completely outclasses Demon Slayer in like every way. Except for Nezuko and Enosuke assist equip. The cards are fun and the farmables are good. But none of this stuff is worth trading for. I mean, if you really want Tanjiro, maybe Tanjiro is worth trading for because at least his assist equip is okay. But I don't think anyone should trade for Tanjiro at this point. I still think Marvel will come, but I don't know when. This got added onto our already packed schedule. We still got 1 to 2 Mystics Inspectors runs. We still have Sacred Dragon Relic. We still have... What else? We've got a lot. I mean, we need Pad Academy still. We keep going this way. We're going to get all the way into the summer beach stuff. Fate. Yeah, we still get Fate soon. The thing is like, it's kind of, it's upsetting. I wish we could be excited to roll this collab, but it's not good. It's just not as far as leader skills go. I'm still going to roll in it. I'm always going to roll some because if you want cards, the only way to get them is to roll. And if you don't roll, what message does that send to Gung Ho? That North America doesn't deserve collabs because they're not worth the licensing. Oh, yeah, we have Street Fighter. Street Fighter is stronger than this collab. So if you like spend all your stones on Demon Slayer and then Street Fighter comes out like 2 weeks later, you feel pretty bad. So personally, I think we're going to get Fate and then we'll get this. Why they announced it now? I guess so that we feel less baited when Fate comes around and then Demon Slayer comes around, because people like to complain and I think they maybe even realize that they're like hitting us one after another, because we like have no break. Like Fujimi was good to roll in, Monogatari was good to roll in, DBDC not good to roll in, but it's still there. And then we have a Godfest that's amazing to roll in. They're hitting us with a lot of things. So maybe they're announcing this so they could say, hey, yeah, here's your like 2 or 3 week heads up. Save some money, save some stones. Get ready to wail for these cards that you've been begging for. It makes me wonder if they're like lurking the Reddit, right? They're lurking Reddit and they're just like, yeah, people still want this. Even though the cards are all super old hat now. Sag. That's all I gotta say. Is I'm excited for it still, but Sag, that we're getting it. Like, how many months late is this? When did this event run? This event is over 6 months old. Hey, big AMDC, thanks for the follow. This is so old that it's realistic that Japan could get a rerun while we're getting the first run. Like, it could actually happen. Hey, Adha, hey, Voxite, thank you for the follows. Like, because, okay, it's just announced, right? It could be like a month before we get it. It could be a month before we get it, which would put this 7 months. It's actually realistic that Japan could get a rerun like right afterwards. And maybe Japan is going to get a rerun. Maybe Japan is going to get a rerun because I think it was a really popular collab. And maybe we will get buffs. If they buff it, if they bring these cards up to current level, then these cards are good. These cards are amazing. The thing really holding them back is they're really bad leader skill multipliers. But if they bring these cards up to this new level, yeah, Demon Slayer is so old it can't. These are Shura 1 leader skills, like, or entry into Shura 2. So yeah, maybe it is gonna get buffs. Maybe we get it first. Maybe we get the buffs first. Wouldn't that be amazing if we get the buffs first? Are we all going to say we forgive you, Gung Ho, for not getting the first run, but we got the second run first? Dude, you know Japan gets really upset about that stuff too. Like, I doubt we'll do it, just they'll do it. But it would be really rad if we got the second run before Japan got the second run and we get all the buffs. But I kind of doubt it. I don't think they need to. They don't need to. People are going to roll this thing anyway. People are just going to... I mean, I'm going to buy a pack for sure. So they're already getting my $47. But yeah, if it does happen, you heard it here first. I called it. We're going to get second run buffs potentially. And it'll be a at the same time run with Japan, but most likely we probably won't get it first, but man, wouldn't it be cool if we did? Oh, is that true? I mean, that would be rad. Like, it would be really cool, and I would like applaud Gung Ho. I'm like, hey, you really care. We really wanted this collab, and yes, it took you forever to get it set up in the United States, but when you finally did, you buffed it. Heck yeah, that would be awesome. Is it going to happen? I'm always a pessimist, right? Cautious pessimism means you're not disappointed often. But yeah, we'll go with cautious pessimism. I'm rolling for Nezuko. Hopefully I get her. I'll be happy if I get Enosuke. I'll be happy if I land any of the 3 high rarity rolls. But do I need to roll a Rengoku? No, because there's going to be someone on my friends list that has it. So it's whatever. That's the card I want the most of the 3, just to pair with